Ordered. I want to briefly review the three commandments of the CITI Subcommittee. One is that we shall start on time, which we just did, so that's good. We're going to enforce the 5-minute rule, but if time allows, we'll entertain a second round of questions, and it often does. But I bring this up, I want to stress the third commandment, which is thou shalt not use acronyms or jargon, which I think is particularly important in this discussion because discussions about AI can quickly generate or degenerate into jargon-laden discussions. We have three true experts on this topic, but just don't assume your average member of Congress, or let me just say, don't assume I understand what you're talking about when you get into the nuances of AI. So we want to have a discussion in the open that your average American can understand today. We're asking you to demystify a lot of the concepts surrounding AI. And in thinking about this topic, it may sound counterintuitive, but I've been going back to the history of the early Cold War. In particular, I'm obsessed with the Korean War, which is the moment in which the Cold War first turned very hot, and at great cost to Americans, at even greater cost to the Korean people themselves. And I was reading this sort of obscure book about it and came across the words of a historian named David Rees, who said, "At the heart of West's military thought lies the belief that machines must be used to save its men's lives. Korea would progressively become a horrific illustration of the effects of a limited war where one side possessed the firepower and the other the manpower." There's a lot of different ways to interpret this in the current context, and particularly in the context of this hearing. One is that AI could potentially increase the destructive power of modern warfare. The other is AI has the potential to decrease it, or at least decrease the exposure that our soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines take when they put themselves in a combat situation. Or the third, and what is unique in contrast to the early Cold War, is that the machines themselves might somehow take power and go beyond our ability to control them. Today, we want to dig into all of these different hypotheses. The only thing, as I've dug into this topic, and I want to commend the ranking member, Mr. Khanna, for the way in which he's worked with me to really use the subcommittee to explore AI concepts. We had a very fascinating discussion with Elon Musk last week. I'll say there were some sources of disagreement. Mr. Musk believes China's on Team Humanity. I'm not persuaded of that point. And the only thing I've become convinced is that the CCP, if they win this competition or win the sort of AI component of this competition, will likely use that technology for evil as a way of perfecting a repressive totalitarian surveillance state, as well as exporting that model around the world. Whereas we in the West, we in the free world at least have the chance of using it for good. So to make sense of all these things, we're lucky to have three incredible witnesses. Mr. Alex Wang is the CEO of Scale AI, and I don't know, you might be the most successful MIT dropout of all time at this point, but there's actually probably a unique subset of people that qualify there. Mr. Klein Kitchen is a senior fellow at the American Enterprise Institute, and someone many of us on Capitol Hill look for advice when talking about the intersection of technology and warfare. And Dr. Hania Mahmoodian of Data Robot is an absolute AI expert as well. So I've been looking forward to this hearing for a long time. I look forward to an open and honest discussion. Just remember, no acronyms, no jargon. And with that, I yield to the ranking member, Mr. Khanna.